despite spending crores of rupees in giving free iron, folic acid, and proteins over the last 70 years, nearly 50 to 60% of the women in reproductive years and children continue to be anemic. Despite surplus food being available, nearly 30% of the children under 5 years continue to be stunted due to insufficient nutrition. Dr. Khosla says that abdominal adiposity is much more inflammatory and dangerous to health. She cautions against consumption of inflammatory foods, which is leading to health conditions.
It's not about what you're eating, but it's about how much you're absorbing. And therefore, we in India have this double burden of both obesity and malnutrition. There are gaps in our understanding these conditions. And if we don't go into the gut, the culprits of what is causing a dysbiosis, we are going to see no results. And that's what we are seeing. Nothing is getting capped despite so much more information, awareness, and information, even today, efforts people are making and the initiatives that the government is making. I have a patient who has told me that her niece at age 5 has been found to have gallstones, something which happens after 50 years or more, 60, 70, or that's an adult condition. To happen at age 5 is absolutely unreal. I really have to answer this question in a way that I see it. It cannot be just a politically right answer. The fact is that when you're making antibodies against foods, gallstones is almost like a lifestyle thing. This child has not even had time to have a lifestyle, is skinny, is a picky eater. She's underweight, she is not eating enough, and she's therefore malnourished, and she has gallstones. Another example is of people very, very underweight, having polycystic ovaries, having fatty livers, and all of that. Now, where is it coming from? I have a patient who is almost just like 39, 40 kgs, she has grade 3 fatty liver. It's ultimately inflammation. What is happening is for children, mothers who are making antibodies against the grains, which are the inflammatory grains, are being passed on in the womb through the placental barrier to the baby. Now, this baby is having antibodies against certain grains. That means the baby is already inflamed. The baby is coming out, it's already got a disadvantage. Inflammation is the starting point of all diseases. It starts from the gut. So, if that science is understood, we'll understand what's going on. Secondly, when they are exposed to the wrong food, mothers are indulgent, they're getting into fast foods, sugary foods. Obviously, there is complete dysregulation. So, there we all have our checks and balances in our systems, in our bodies. But with dysbiosis, there is dysregulation of that. You correct that, and the individual is able to regulate food. Children should not be given sugar and all of that early in life. Wheat should be delayed as to 1 to 2 years, especially in kids who have families where there are history of obesity or autoimmunity. Eating behaviors can be regulated by addressing the gut microbiome. In my clinical practice, I see that all the time, that you correct the microbiome in weeks' time, the patient comes back and saying, I had no compulsions, I had no cravings. In a matter of literally 7-8 days, they are on top of things, and they begin to eat those foods, and it kind of gets dysregulated again. I have that 5D path: dysbiosis leading to dysregulation, deficiencies, disorders, and diseases. So that's the way it moves.
Okay.